Wisconsin. Big Ten quarterfinals here. We'll follow it with Purdue, trying to continue to improve their resume, taking on the surprise team of this tournament so far. 2 wins already, Penn State. Mike Tirico, Dan Dockich, Quint Kesnick, and these folks joining us in the starting lineup. Spike Albrecht, great game in the Michigan performance yesterday. Muhammad Ali, Abdur-Rahman, Zach Irvin, Aubrey Dawkins, and Max Bielfeldt, who's closing out his senior year playing his best basketball. Wisconsin, this is the familiar 5. Still no Trayvon Jackson. He will likely not play in this Big Ten tournament. Bronson Koenig remains to the point with Gosser, Hayes, Sam Decker, the Conference Player of the Year, perhaps the National Player of the Year, Frank Kaminsky, from just a half-hour away from here in Lisle, Illinois. All right, Mr. Dockich, we've seen these 2 teams play an overtime game on an ESPN Saturday night primetime game in Ann Arbor, won by the Badgers. How does Michigan keep this game close against, clearly, wire-to-wire, the best team of the Big Ten this year?
Play like you did yesterday. Number 1, Michigan, best half of basketball I've seen them play all year. Here's why. Ball moved sharply. Illinois could not catch up to the ball. You have to do that against Wisconsin. If you get stagnant against Wisconsin and rely on one-on-one moves, you're going to get beat and beat bad. Other thing, you got to find Kaminsky. You got to double him in the post. You got to recover the shooters.
Ball starts with the Wolverines as Wisconsin begins their quest. Champions of the regular season, trying to sweep the league this year. Be the first team to do that outright in about 3 seasons. Zach Irvin tried to turn the corner, stopped by Koenig. Wisconsin, that good defense. These are 2 patient teams, well-coached teams. Turnovers are low. Fouls called against these teams usually low. Abdur-Rahman, the miss. Decker, the rebound for Wisconsin.
When you watch Wisconsin's defense, everybody with the exception of Kaminsky switches. So on that possession, you had, guarding Spike Albrecht, Koenig, you had Hayes, you had Decker.
Kaminsky with Zach Irvin guarding, and the double coming with Dawkins. So Kaminsky spins baseline away from the double team to break the scoring seal.
We're going to show this during one of the timeouts, but Michigan's going to double. You have to force Kaminsky into the double team. You can never get beat away from help with Kaminsky.
Aubrey Dawkins, son of Johnny Dawkins. He's number 24 for Michigan. He's playing some very good basketball. Albrecht from the top knocks it down. Spike Albrecht with 8 points and 5 assists in Michigan's dominating performance, beating Illinois this time, this floor yesterday.
Mike, he's been great. Not good, great. 8 points, 5 assists. What are you talking about great? No, great. He's handled the ball. He's hit big shots. He's pressured. He's done everything a guard could possibly be asked to do, and he's done it at an All-American level.
Nigel Hayes, 3rd-team All-Conference. A feed to the post, got a double. Wisconsin with 10 to shoot. It'll be Hayes using the screen from Gosser. Very smooth for the sophomore from Toledo, Ohio.
That's about the best example of why it's so difficult to guard Wisconsin. Max Bielfeldt got caught up in a screen. Well, Max Bielfeldt is a center, but he has to get through screens and then take away a 3-point shot, and he couldn't do it there.
Bielfeldt on the offensive end over Decker. Able to roll it in. Had the first career double-double of his Michigan days. Very final game at Chrysler Center, his senior night. Pitched out to Decker. Off on the 3. Kaminsky back taps it. Keeps it alive for the man he calls Captain America, Josh Gosser. Going to the goal.
Lifetime Achievement Award in the Big Ten's got to go to Josh Gosser. All he does, 135 starts. All he does is guard the best player on the other team. Never makes mistakes. Kind of an afterthought recruit. I mean, he was recruited, but they had another player that they had. Wisconsin took a couple phones that weren't his. Bo Ryan got rid of them. Got Gosser, and it worked out great for Wisconsin and Gosser.
Abdur-Rahman is the baseline, shut off by Kaminsky. Late clock. Somebody's asked to shoot. It's going to be Irvin. Rigged it out. Rebound by Kaminsky. 3 losses on the year for Wisconsin. 3 by Gosser, rimmed out. Nobody stopped Irvin. He got all the way to the basket, and Zach Irvin with the field goal.
Irvin says the game has slowed down for him. He had 6 assists, a career high. Well, there you saw it. Instead of settling for a floater, he got low, took an extra dribble, used his athletic ability and his 6'6" frame, 6'7" frame.
Bronson Koenig in for Trayvon Jackson, as he has been for the better part of this Big Ten season. It's that wait. Will Wisconsin get Jackson back as we enter the Ncaa tournament? Contact, no call inside. Hayes got bumped on the way up, and Michigan has a chance to take the lead. Hayes staying with Irvin. Good defense from Nigel Hayes. No fouls, no turnovers, no stoppages in the action.
This game will be over by lunch.
Yes.
Before lunch.
These teams do not play a local. They play an express. They go. Lack of fouls from both sides. Irvin is off. Albrecht got in there. Bielfeldt on the deck. Koenig's 5-on-4 the other way for Wisconsin. Kaminsky wanted it early on. Bielfeldt recovering. Pops out for the 3. And now Michigan will push with Abdur-Rahman.
Like, I don't have a list in front of me of all the 4-point-a-game scorers in the country, but Abdur-Rahman has to be the most dangerous 4.4 points a game scorer. I mean, 18 against Michigan State at Michigan State. I mean, the kid had 15 last night.
Albrecht knocks down the 3 off the curl, and Michigan is on top by a bucket.
I'm telling you, Mike, for doing things for your team, there are a lot of terrific guards. Quinn Cook comes to mind, a lot of them. I get it, but nobody is having a better late season than Spike Albrecht.
Kaminsky shot fake, shows the game, puts it on the deck, pitched it out, and Gosser's off. Frank's on the board. He was out at the top of the three-point arc, got inside and got the basket on the rebound.
Yeah, that's just bad defense. I mean, when you get Frank Kaminsky out to the top of the key, somebody has to get underneath him and eliminate him from getting a rebound.
Abdur-Rahman cut inside. Gosser, who's a very good defender, first-team all-league defender, got lost there.
Yeah, a little slip screen. And Abdur-Rahman, who didn't play hardly at all to start the season, continues his good play. He's been terrific.
Decker launches the 3. That's off. Good job by Albrecht to keep Gosser off the board. And back comes Michigan. Chance to extend this lead. Spike Albrecht Jr. had that great national championship first half in Atlanta. Dribbles some space. Show me what you got, Spike! And a timeout taken by Wisconsin. Bo Ryan unhappy. One of his best defenders let Albrecht shake free.
I made a fadeaway at the free throw line. Coaches out there, draw that up for your team. That kid is phenomenal. Robbie Benson in one-on-one.
Feels like he's been around for a long time. It's still his junior year. He's the oldest player on this very young Michigan team. Had to carry so many more minutes because of the injuries, in part to Derek Walton Jr., who is suited up and did warm up for the second straight day. Walton on the Michigan bench. Wolverines go to some zone here, which we figured to see. Duye Dukin has come in for Wisconsin. The shot clock is at 4. And on the deflection, Irvin with the takeaway. The game's first turnover. Either way. Albrecht lifting, launching. Can't land the 3. Kaminsky chased it down.
Bo Ryan has seen enough of Gosser. The turnover, as you mentioned, Mike, so he's going to get Zach Showalter in. Terrific athlete, walk on, but guarantee you Gosser will play well coming back.
Duye Dukin short on the 3, chased down as they go into Coach John Beilein on the side there. Kept alive and denied. Michigan with the interior defense. Back the other way come the Wolverines. Irvin with a 3. Got them all. And Michigan leads by 7. 7 straight for the Maize and Blue. We've not had the under 16 media timeout, and now we're inside the under 12. We hope Penn State and Purdue arrive on time. This game will go quicker than most. Green zoning, 1-3-1. Kaminsky working inside. And we have finally the game's first foul. 8 minutes, 19 seconds in. Terrific start for John Beilein's club.
ESPN's exclusive presentation of college basketball is brought to you by Dick's Sporting Goods. Sport begs of you this one simple question: who will you be? And the Mazda CX-5.
Block more here, and they're shooting the basketball, and eventually they're going to make some threes is what they do because they get good shots. But Isaac Hayes on the block he's got to be Nigel Hayes. I was going to say Isaac Hayes. He's pretty good on the block too.
He's pretty good on any block.
Yeah, but I think Hayes on the block and Kaminsky going there a little bit more. Right now jumpers aren't going. Michigan's getting in transition. How do you stop transition? Well, throw the ball inside against the team that wants to run.
7-0 run comes to an end with those 2 Kaminsky free throws.
You don't really worry about Wisconsin and runs. They're so veteran, they're so connected, calm. The only guy that's not calm sometimes is Bo. Everybody else pretty calm.
We had the same situation in a game earlier in this Big Ten tournament where we hadn't taken the first TV timeout, then we had free throws. They took the media timeout between free throws. It was really choppy, and they decided not to do that again, which is the correct move. So the under-12 timeout comes here at 11:22.
Heroes charge.
Now the defense is compromised, and Wisconsin's going to get one of those shots they always get.
Yeah, I asked Jeff Meyer, why from the top of the key? And they want to bring it where Kaminsky has to make a decision opposite, not an easy decision to kick it out to a run it, step into a jump shot.
Ricky Doyle picks up the foul there, Dan. So that's his first. Second as Doyle checks in. He was the starter at the beginning of the season for Michigan. And then Bielfeldt has come on. Mark Donnell really was the starter for that first 10-game stretch. So they've used those 3 in a rotation throughout the year. Effectiveness, injuries, it's been a turning cast. Bielfeldt has become the most effective, but all 3 have to give them good minutes at certain times because of their lack of size inside.
Yeah, this is a big stretch right here. You see, there comes a double.
Pitch out to Dukin, clock at 11.
It's a big stretch for Doyle because Bielfeldt's played really well, but he needs a rest.
Well, Doyle, good hands, knocked it away. Koenig's in trouble there. It's pitched out. Late shot clock. Showalter drew the contact, and Lamont Simpson has a pre-shot foul as Cam Chapman, the lefty from Michigan, hit Showalter.
Watch here. The ball's going to come into the post, and here's Spike Albrecht from the top. Now, you see, Kaminsky had to, you didn't really see it there, but Kaminsky had to throw a pass with a hump on it. You throw a pass with a hump on it, meaning a softer pass, defense can recover. Spike Albrecht did a good job of getting his hands up. That's how you neutralize Kaminsky, both on the block and passing out of the double team.
Dukin going at the basket. Chapman in his way. Decker on the weak side. Cleans it up and scores.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying, Mike. Out of that timeout, you've seen the ball go to the post twice. Jumpers aren't going. Bo Ryan has won a lot of games throwing the ball on the block. Throw the ball on the block, you draw help, opens up the backboard.
Good read by Decker, diving to try to keep it alive. He cannot. His hoops stopped a stretch where Wisconsin had missed 8 of their last 9 field goals. But checking first time this morning, Quinn Kesselnick.
In the Wisconsin huddles, Bo Ryan has spent the majority of his time talking about defending the 3 in transition and then diagramming some zone offense, whether it's the 2-3 or the 1-3-1. He wants the ball kicked inside to the paint, back outside, and then they want to play off of closeouts, whether it's a drive or more ball movement. Really not happy with the way they've looked against the 1-3-1.
No, Quinn's absolutely right. Just because somebody plays a 1-3-1 doesn't mean you can't throw the ball inside. In fact, pretty good opportunity because the bottom of the 1-3-1 is Spike Albrecht, the smallest man.
Late shot clock, Irvin over Decker. It's an air ball as a shot clock. Not a violation, but only 0.2 of a second left. Oh, they're going to change the call now and say it is Wisconsin ball. Bo Ryan's reaction to the correction. It was off Wisconsin. Yeah. It was off the leg of Dukin, I believe.
Well, they had it right the first time.
There were only 0.2 of a second on the shot clock.
Yeah.
Wouldn't have even been catch and shoot. Michigan would have had to tip it in at the rim.
Yeah, but don't let Bo intimidate you. Don't let Bo, because he looks like a mad scientist sometimes over there. Don't let him intimidate you.
732 wins, 5th amongst the active coaches. And on the ballot for the Hall of Fame, The Naismith Basketball Hall of Fame, the finalists, the inductees for this class will be announced at the Final Four. Bad pass turned over. Aubrey Dawkins to the basket. Over Decker. Nope. He saved it and keeps the trip alive.
What a difference in Wisconsin and Illinois. Illinois yesterday against Michigan gives that up as a layup. I mean, a layup to Aubrey Dawkins. Wisconsin, 2 guys back, makes it a really tough shot.
Kaminsky out of the game. Doyle was asking for it inside as Dukin is coming in to defend. It's a small thing. Koenig took away that dribble handoff to Dawkins at the top. Irvin's a late clock 3, and he knocked it down.
He looks great. As I said earlier, the game has slowed down for him. Think about this. He just shot a ball, pretty good step-back shot that went over the rim. Not even close. Didn't bother him. Next time he got the ball, whack, 3.
Decker couldn't turn the corner. And Dawkins has come on from really out of nowhere. Late signing. Didn't think he'd be playing early on. The 3 by Koenig is off. Albrecht goes to get the rebound. Only 3 turnovers in the game, 3 fouls. Both teams combined. Albrecht knocks down another 3. Spike's got a couple of triples, and Michigan leads surprisingly by 9.
That's just putting it right in a guy's eye, Mike. That's just dribbling down the court and putting it right in the defender's eye.
No call. Decker missed it. Dukin kept it alive in the finish by Decker.
Well, that'll make you put back things you never stole because Dawkins had the ball. You had momentum. You're getting ready to go down the court, and he didn't just grab it. He kind of reached for it. Instead of snatching it, cost him 2 points on both ends.
See, Wisconsin trying to dig in here defensively. Michigan's been comfortably, patiently moving it around the top. Chapman's off on that 3. Nigel Hayes the rebound. It's a Wisconsin team, one of the most efficient offenses in the country. And look at most of the metrics and measuring as efficient as anyone. Everybody out of the lane, all around the perimeter. Send one guy inside. It's the way basketball looks so often these days. Decker put it on the deck with a purpose and a great finish by second-team all-conference performer Sam Decker from Sheboygan.
You hold the ball. We talk about it every time we do a game with Wisconsin. You hold it for a 2 count. You read the defense, and while you're reading the defense, you're reading your defender's feet. And Sam Decker read. He got a little opening. Got himself a layup just by holding on to the ball.
Clock at 10. They look inside to Doyle. It's a nice feed from Chapman over the top. Threw it to that corner of the backboard and was able to find the open spot.
Mike, there was not a lot of room for error right there. And Chapman, that's his best thing. Passing the basketball. You talk to the Michigan coaches. He falls in love with a jumper sometimes. But going to the rim, finishing, and passing make Cam Chapman a heck of a player.
Game tipped at 11:01. We've played 23 minutes of real time on your watch and 14 minutes of game time. Incredibly efficient basketball. Dukin, no. Decker tipped it. Irvin's got it the other way for Michigan. Wolverines have led by as many as 9. Wisconsin had a 3-point edge early on. It's a Michigan team that is just edged above 500 with their victory over Illinois. Injury-plagued season. Some brutal losses at home in December. Dawkins couldn't get above the rim. Lost to Eastern Michigan, lost to NJIT from Jersey Institute of Technology. No call on the contact. Decker taking over this stretch of the game offensively for Wisconsin.
Yeah, I don't know what else you're supposed to do. I don't think that was a flop. Decker's a big kid. I thought it was pretty good defense.
You think it was a foul?
I do. I thought
Really?
it was. I did.
That was all right.
You did?
Yeah.
You're tougher than me. I don't want guys to get hurt, right? They touch each other and you can get hurt.
Nigel Hayes attacks off the wing, gets to the basket, and he gets fouled. And Hayes will come to the line. So Wisconsin's kind of settling in here. A little pushback, but Michigan's led by as many as 9 because Michael Albrecht, known as Spike, because of his bad answers in so many ways if you try to take away one of their best options offensively.
I think the kid there on the left, Nigel Hayes, he or Decker, if Decker stays, will be the player of the year next year. Nigel Hayes has improved so much, and he's so difficult to guard. But on top of all that, a fantastic passer. Look at the improvement right there.
He's got one more free throw. Here's Quint.
John Beilein in that last Michigan huddle emphasizing the difference in Wisconsin with Kaminsky and without him. He said, when Kaminsky is not in there, they are a totally different team. Trying to get his defense to kind of change their mindset. He also spent a lot of time talking about the rebound differential in this game, encouraging his guys to hit the glass.
And right now it's Wisconsin +4, that rebound margin. Quint, thank you.
Yeah, and you have to tell your players, hey, look, Kaminsky's not in the game. We're not doubling the same way. So, and be alert for more of a 1-3-1 zone.
Irvin missed the three. When Kaminsky was out for the most part, it was an 8-2 Wisconsin turn to this game. Trying to tie it with the three here is Hayes. And Irvin on the board for the Wolverines. Wisconsin has not committed a foul in the first 15 and a half. Donnell set the screen for Dawkins.
Really good decision by Dawkins. He thought he had Donnell on the roll, but Kaminsky had arms wave and couldn't get it through, decided not to make the pass.
Shot clock at 10. Showalter got caught up on the screen, now recovers to get Albrecht. Late clock, Kaminsky there as well. It's going to have to be late, going to have to be deep. The bailout's the foul, the first one on the Badgers, and it's Showalter who gets it as we get under 4 minutes here. As you see, it has been a very clean and crisply played opening half to the opening quarterfinal at the Big Ten tournament here in Chicago. Because of the tournament here, they take on Oklahoma City for the moment out in the West by a half game. And I'll join Mark Jackson, Jeff Van Gundy in Los Angeles as the Rockets and Clippers are battling for the 4-5 spot in the West. NBA countdown begins at 12:30 Eastern time. Don't know if you saw Kyrie Irving last night, 57 points in the overtime win at San Antonio over the defending NBA champions.
That's pretty good.
With LeBron playing, like you said.
Yeah. Is that a record? That's got to be a record for points with LeBron. You know what I mean? I mean, we have records on everything. When he wears a headband, when he doesn't.
No doubt about that. That's a good take by Irvin inside. He had Kaminsky and Decker, two long and mobile defenders. And Irvin ducked under. He's got 10 to join Albrecht, pacing the maize and blue.
That was really nice. And again, Zach Irvin not settling. Zach Irvin's biggest improvement has been getting lower with the ball when he goes to the rim.
That was trying to get low and battle Kaminsky. He spun out, lost his balance. Frank had the advantage all the way. Easy catch and hoop for the player of the year in the Big Ten.
Zach Irvin is 6'6" or 6'7", really well built, big strong shoulders, and Kaminsky just devoured him on the block. Help was way late. BFL didn't see it. No match.
Turn and toss. Dawkins off on the three. So why is Irvin in that situation guarding Kaminsky as opposed to Bielefeld?
Nobody was talking. Okay. And on a little screening action, Irvin picked up Kaminsky. Okay. Nobody spoke and got back. Well, actually, Bielefeld, same action here. High ball screen. You see he's on it.
And Hayes goes right around Bielefeld to the basket. And advantage Wisconsin there. They saw the wrinkles. Here come the Badgers. And here come the fans who've made their way from Madison. Wisconsin 10 field goals, 9 in the paint. Abdul Rahman runs to an open spot. Turns inside. Look at Hayes come to go get it. And it's going to be off Michigan last. John Beilein wants timeout. He also wants to say that should have been over the back. Wisconsin, great effort on these last two trips.
Hey, I say it all the time. When you're big, play big. Know you're big. Don't fade away. This is not a fade away.
Wisconsin, the wire-to-wire champions in the Big Ten. Trailing Michigan here by 1. We'll have Penn State, Purdue next. We'll have the ACC terrific semifinals, I should say, tonight from Greensboro. Dan Shulman and Jay Billis will have the call on Duke, Notre Dame following that Carolina-Virginia game. Now the Wisconsin game, let's see Andy North, but we get the family too. Susan, his wife's on the far side, his daughter, granddaughter. Andy was here not in red yesterday. One of the officials said to us, I've never seen Andy North not in red.
Hey, he was wearing a brown sweater. What are you doing?
See if Wisconsin can get the lead here. Michigan has gone zone. The man-to-man stuff not working for him. 9 of the 10 Wisconsin field goals have come from inside the paint. Hayes going right back there to work.
How about that pass from 6'9"?
Clock at 5, 3 in the lead. Koenig puts the Badgers on top.
Just nothing you can do, Mike. Really, nothing you can do. Played great defense, forced a 6'9", 240-pound Hayes to make a jump, double pump pass, which he made. Koenig knocks in a 3.
Koenig's getting tied up on these screens with Bielfeldt at the top. You're getting a little frustrated. The clock's at 10. Bielfeldt trying to go over Kaminsky. Tough shot. And Michigan's offense has not found its rhythm. Wisconsin's defense has turned this game's momentum.
No doubt. And Koenig has done a great job of denying Spike Albrook. He's not let him breathe over the last 5 minutes.
Kaminsky, here comes the double, the pitch out. From the top, the triple. Run it down. Another one for Bronson Koenig. Can't imagine anybody doing a better job stepping in for a good senior leader than he's done replacing Trayvon Jackson.
Nobody has. 12 points a game in his 14 starts. Took over the game. It ended up being a rout, but really took over the game last regular season against Ohio State. Duck guards.
Albrecht.
How about
tough shots? He's bumped. Back the other way come the Badgers. 10-0 run in process. Behind the back, Decker to Hayes. Got cute. Turned it over. Bo Ryan will not be happy with that. I don't think I've ever said this. Wisconsin has 5 fouls to give with 11 seconds left in the half.
This is what you see all the time. Sam Decker drives Bo Ryan nuts.
Yes, he does.
He does. He was like the highest rated recruit he was ever going to get. Had to get him, but he drives him nuts. And that pass got Decker a seat.
Irvin, the 3 is off as we get to the half of Hayes in a fling. That is off. That's a break. Michigan led by 9. Wisconsin scored 18 of the last 22. And Bo Ryan's team leads by 5. And here's Quicks.
Coach, what do you think led to the momentum change late in the first half?
Well, first of all, a team like ours never had a chance to practice on this court or use the basketballs or anything like that. They already had a game under their belt, so sure, you know, that definitely, I think, affects teams somewhat. So I think once more we got used to some things, but, you know, that's not the only answer. We moved the ball better. Defensively, we contested shots a little bit better, but I think our guys needed to get comfortable in the environment, and now we hope we can keep that comfort level and not let the halftime take away the momentum.
Thank you, Coach. Mike.
Bo's answers as long as the half. In 38 crisply played minutes.
Look at that pass.
Strong close. Bronson Koenig 2 threes as well. It's Wisconsin by 5. Here's Reese Davis with the Heroes Charge halftime report from the ACC tournament down in Greensboro. Reese, we send it to you.
All right, Mike, thank you very much.
A lot of credit. Says, you know, they're bigger and taller, so defensively we're getting the double team there, but he wants it to be a lot more aggressive. Attack with the double team. Offensively, he said, Wisconsin doesn't give us many open looks, so when you get an open look, don't hesitate. Felt there were a couple times that they overpassed and guys turned down some open jumpers.
Efficiency, Quint, on that offensive end for Wisconsin, like Dan was saying, when it went into the paint. So 18 times it went into the paint, they scored 28 points. The 6 times it didn't touch the paint, 1 field goal,
yeah,
1 3.
You got to know the game. You know, each game is a different entity. And this game, jumpers weren't going. Paint is.
Decker's short on that 3 to start the half. Max Bielfeldt the rebound for Michigan. It was such a
Sorry,
you saw Bo. I saw the same thing too. I did the same thing. Go ahead, you talk about it.
He went from a normal shade of human being to a evil red shade of human being in 1 jump shot. I'm telling you, Decker makes him crazy. Loves him, but makes him crazy.
Albrecht on the runner is short. Kaminsky gets the rebound for Michigan. Wolverines played 8. Badgers played 7. Tight rotations both ways. Decker trying to get work on the post there. Instead, Kaminsky pitches it across. He's got Abdur Rahman go right over him, and Decker scores.
It's just so hard because Decker is huge when you see him in person. Kaminsky is huge. Hayes is huge. You got three guys that can all go down on the block. They find the matchup, and they get him the ball. Mike, sometimes you say, or I say, simple thing. They find the matchup, and they get him the ball. So many teams see the matchup, but don't throw the ball to the guy on the block. It's demanded out of Bo Ryan in Wisconsin.
Abdur Rahman gets Michigan back on the board. The Wolverines had missed 6 shots, 5 to end the half. And the first one here, so it's about 5 minutes total that they haven't scratched from the field until that one. Koenig saw the opening, took the drive, and Bronson Koenig adds to his total. He's got 8, hit 2 big threes at the end of the first half.
Well, that is the Kaminsky effect, and it's happened a lot. Max Bielefeld is staying with Kaminsky. And he's so attuned or so tuned into Kaminsky that he's forgetting he's got to play Kaminsky and get in to help.
Abdur Rahman's tough finish over Kaminsky, and he got it to go. Whoa, Bielefeld and Gosser kept banging and pushing and looking for position.
Look,
Both
Captain
hit the deck
America.
hard, it's a play on.
Captain America just gets up, runs right back down. He's not going to involve himself into any nonsense, and neither is Bielefeld.
Gosser earning that nickname, as we said, from Frank Kaminsky. Said, our leader, the most clutch person I know. We have done a lot of Wisconsin games this year, and it's a really connected group. They get along so well, very polite, terrific young men to visit with.
Fun.
Yeah, fun, great. It's a fun group.
Yeah, just fun.
He
All right, they got the double. Can he get back? I'm sorry, Mike.
That's okay. I was sadly seeing the same thing you do. Kaminsky miss. Who's got the board? It's Irvin. At noon Central Time here, 3 minutes into the second half. Bielefeld with a punch. Irvin, the beautiful draw, the double, and the wraparound. Back-to-back field goals get Michigan a bit closer.
Yeah, Wisconsin and Kentucky. You have to do that. You drive in against either team. The help is so good for Wisconsin. The size so big for Kentucky. Look at that, right? You got to stay down and make the next pass. Now, when you're Kaminsky, you just go up and over people. Mike, we talked last night about Emmett Holt for Indiana improving during the year. I really believe this about Kaminsky. I think Kaminsky's post work has improved as we move through the season. I think he's put himself in a position now where he used to score because of matchups on the block, Mike.
Right.
Now he scores because of what he does.
Irvin for 2. His footwork has continued to be increasingly smooth. And when you have an answer, because he's seen doubles all year, he knows how to work around those.
He used to get off balance. He always had good footwork, but he would lean forward with his body and get himself off balance. Now it's more of a squat where he's never off balance. This is a bad matchup.
Hayes inside and all over the glass. It is just plain and simple. You just look out here at the players. Wisconsin's just a head taller than a whole bunch of the Michigan guys. And if they can just keep pounding it around the ring, they're going to win this game without too much stress, unless the Wolverines just hit threes from everywhere. Irvin on the curve.
Tell you what, that's nice action. That's really nice action. A little tight cut opposite the ball. Bring the ball back to the top of the key. Set a nice screen. Wisconsin doesn't really get on top of cutters. They stay between man and the basket. It opens up a tight cut that you just saw twice in a row.
Defense switch, little trap with the 1-3-1. Try to throw something different to slow down the Badgers, who have been very efficient in this late first and early second half. Decker got Bielefeld to jump and got the finish on the other side.
High-low from the mid-post. It didn't really go high. Just find the open spot. And when you catch it in the middle, rule is shoot it, look down, or look opposite. That time Kaminsky looked down. Same curl action.
Again, start of the half, no turnovers, no fouls. First 5 minutes. For 6+ in the first half. And there's a foul as Abdur Rahman is tagged. Wisconsin fans are booing. Wait a minute. It's our second foul. We don't foul. Come on. We're Wisconsin. A.J. Hammonds on the all-Big Ten defensive team. He's going to lead Purdue against Penn State. Joe Lunardi has them projected as a 2.
Well, I look at their everything about their resume, including one of their losses with Kaminsky out the second half in the first game without Trayvon Jackson. Now, I'm sure losing to Rutgers at Rutgers is going to cost them. I get it, but I just think their body of work over the course of the season, the gyms they played in, the competition has been fantastic. And the eye test, look, I don't think anybody outside of Kentucky's playing any better. And I also don't think anybody outside, well, let's put it this way, I don't think there's anybody in the country that would be more confident playing Kentucky. Now, that's not a reason for a 1 seed, but that's what I see moving forward in the tournament more than that.
Great spin at the rim by Kaminsky, but he couldn't finish. Doyle is in there in the middle for Michigan defensively.
Like, that is unbelievable defense by Bronson Koenig right there.
On Irvin?
Well, it started out on Albrecht. He defended him, then a late switch, and he was able to keep Irvin in front. That was unbelievable.
Albrecht, Doyle sees Kaminsky, put it on the deck, and scored.
If you're big, be big. He had 2 chances there, Ricky Doyle did, to fall down or lean forward and take an off-balance shot. He gathered, faked, went up, scored. Now better get his hands up.
May have been in there a little too long. Kaminsky tries to return the favor. Frank can't do it. And Michigan, down a short time ago by 7, can get within 1 or tie it. Irvin, 1-point game. Boy, Michigan is rolling in 6 of 7 to get back in it. Make it 7 of 8 now. I think with the way the season went, not as many Michigan fans made the trip to Chicago here. Of course, a huge alumni base for both schools. Irvin with the foul. We talked about the season and injuries both ways. Levert and Walton for Michigan, and that man, Trayvon Jackson, for Wisconsin. Quinn Ketchnick has an update on Jackson's status.
Yeah, the senior guard's missed 14 games with a foot injury. The rehab is slowly progressing. He's finally out of the pool into the functional phase. Free throws and shooting, but he has really not practiced with the team yet. They're hoping they can get him ready for next weekend's game, but they have to be careful with a foot injury like this. Healing is slow, and a setback would be catastrophic.
Turnover there. Irvin going to the basket. Kaminsky comes over. The finish by Dawkins, and Michigan's come back again. They lead by 1.
They have to. They have to transition. They have to go. You don't want to play half court all day long against Wisconsin.
First basket for Dawkins. Michigan's hit 8 of its last 10. They double Kaminsky, and he turned it over. Abdur-Rahman on the run. He goes all the way home. And what a finish by Muhammad Ali Abdur-Rahman. And a Wisconsin timeout. 8 straight for the maize and blue.
Get the ball down the floor against Wisconsin. And off balance. Great play by Spike Albrecht. Led to Kaminsky with 2 turnovers and 2 misses going to the bench.
And Douye Dukin comes in his stead. Doyle out hedging on Bronson Koenig. There's Dukin, whose dad is a sensational international scout for the Chicago Bulls. A lot of the international talent for the Bulls, including Nikola Mirotic, their recent import, scouted by his dad. And his son's pretty good, too. Douye the 3. All square at 44, and it stops an 8-0 Michigan run.
I think he's huge. I think Mark Loving for Ohio State's huge. And I think Jake Layman for Maryland are huge. All 3 guys that can make shots to spin games around, and Dukin just did it there.
Wolverines turnover free the last 13 minutes over the back end of the first half and the start of the second half. Total for the game. Decker at the rim with the defense on Irvin. In this stretch, when Kaminsky was out earlier, Wisconsin had an 8-0 run and put themselves in the lead. Dukin battling Dawkins, and Aubrey Dawkins is called for the personal foul. Under 12 timeout. Michigan trying to pull an upset. All even.
Hey there, Tiny. What beer we drinking?
I don't know, boys. Pursuit of perfection, Kentucky in the SEC opener, facing a frisky Florida squad. Started 5 of 6, including this Casey Hill bucket. That's over on the SEC network. Back to Chicago, where deception is encouraged
Stay away from him, Doug. He gets us in trouble. Baylor and Kansas will be the first of the terrific Big 12 semifinals coming up on ESPN2, to be followed by Oklahoma, Iowa State. Oklahoma beat an Oklahoma State team last night that could have used another win as they try to improve their resume. Iowa State, that stunning comeback to really hurt Texas' bubble hopes. And that's one of several results yesterday that helped Indiana. Indiana was probably, along with Illinois, the teams that needed to do the most work in this Big Ten tournament here. Indiana was impressive over Northwestern last night, and other teams in a similar situation lost. The Hoosiers will play this evening against Maryland.
Yeah, Indiana decided they weren't going to try to trick themselves. And they just went out and guarded hard. Northwestern had no answer.
Koenig to the basket. Oh, he protected that so well. Forced Abdur-Rahman to foul him. And the foul's now 3 on Michigan. Here is DJ Newbill, perhaps the player snubbed more than any other from first team all Big Ten honors this year. He led the conference in scoring. He and Penn State have won their first 2 games. Falcons is looking at me on the side of his headset. Purdue, Penn State next on ESPN.
I said it last night, and those of you that didn't take notes, it's really uncomfortable when you walk into a gym and that camera is there. All you're trying to do is get in the locker room, and here we go. But DJ Newbill, I have to rethink, but my answer is I like A.J. Hammonds on the first team. You're going to see Hammonds go up against a team with Jordan Dickerson, who is a good player, but not near on his level in the second game. And Hammonds and Isaac Haas, 2 big guys for Purdue. It's going to be an interesting matchup.
Wisconsin by 2. Kaminsky remains on the bench. The Doyle's got a punch inside. Good high screen and the roll to the basket by Ricky Doyle.
Oh, that's 2 freshmen in a big moment finding each other. Aubrey Dawkins is so poised. Mike, he came in, had his breakout moment against Illinois at home, but man, is he poised. That was a heck of a pass to the cutting, rolling Ricky Doyle.
Remember what Quint said from the huddle in the first half. Here's Dukin for 3. 2 threes knocked down by Duye Dukin. And Wisconsin regains the lead. When Quint was listening to the Michigan huddle in the first half and Kaminsky was out, Beeline reminded his players, you have to play differently on offense when Kaminsky's not in there.
Yeah, and you know what? They have. They have treated Dukin as just another guy.
Blocking foul there on Dukin.
And you can't. Like, Duye Dukin, you have to play him where you run him off the line. This is really nice. This is really nice. Dukin, watch this here, Mike. You come out on Dukin, your hands are down, you have to run him off that line. I'm not sure, Mike, we've seen him make a 2-dribble drive, pull-up jump shot all year. He'll play in the post, he'll pop out, but a 2-dribble drive, I'm not really seeing it.
It was not in the act of shooting. Michigan's not taking a free throw. Irvin went behind the back to Albrecht and ended up turning it over.
Great play by Sam Decker because Albrecht was open.
And so is Gosser. Josh Gosser with the 3, and Wisconsin leads by 6.
There's your guy, Mr. Clutch. Big moment.
Timeout, John Beeline. That Irvin behind the back pass, trying to get it to Albrecht in the corner, was cute, but it didn't work. And the Badger fans are on their feet. Up a half dozen.
Transition. They're right now. When he had the ball, Sam Decker was setting up Gosser. I love bench reactions, but that was a great play by Decker. Decker knew the defense was going to come down, and then he was setting him up from the moment he got the ball. And, Mike, that's one of the biggest things for Wisconsin. They're always looking to set up the next guy, always.
This is a Wisconsin team that you mentioned they're 1 game without 2 key players who lost to Rutgers. The other losses to Maryland and Duke. And I think when the committee has discussed the #1 seed, Virginia obviously in that conversation, so is Duke, Villanova. So it'll be important to watch what happens tonight in the ACC semifinals, and what happens with Villanova in the Big East tournament in New York, because it's all intertwined to try to figure out, because when you try to separate the details, they're very hard to separate. Remember, Duke did go to Madison and beat Wisconsin by 10 in the Big Ten ACC Challenge. And if you're sitting in the room, you're trying to separate very similar-looking teams, that might be the one that leans you towards Duke.
That's why, my thought is, if I'm Wisconsin, I want Duke to beat Virginia.
Dawkins, big 3 there. He shot that quick. John Beeline's a great shooting coach, and he said it was rare. Dawkins came in and they had to take some of the arc out of his shot. Usually shots need more arc put on them when kids come into college. He had to work to get some of the arc out of his shot, and he's really shooting it great the last 3 weeks.
Mike, when he shoots the ball, you again, didn't get out there and run him off. You just expect the ball to go in with Aubrey Dawkins.
Decker keeps this alive. Dukin fighting inside with Dawkins for position. Wisconsin does that so well. They swing the ball. It gets to both sides of the floor. Compromising the defense. Dawkins and Dukin pulling at it, and Dawkins will pick up the foul.
Man, I watched that entire battle. That was as physical as you'll ever find, and I have no idea how they could call this on anybody. Should be both of them. Look at that. He just knocked Dawkins out, and then Dawkins gets the foul. It's impossible to play college basketball on the block as a defender. It really is.
Michigan has a total of 8 fouls, 3 of them on Dawkins. Wisconsin's been called for 3 fouls the entire game. Showalter has 1, Dukin has 1, Gosser has 1.
Now here, Mike, you have Showalter in the game. You have to use Abdul-Rahman to be a double guy in the lane. If Showalter's going to hit, he hits, but Abdul-Rahman has to go double.
Kaminsky comes back in here as we approach the 8-minute mark of the second half.
Boy, that was nice defense.
I don't know what Decker saw or thought. The official perhaps confused him, and he's coming out. He'll come out, Nigel Hayes will get him. It's one of the reasons that Wisconsin is such a low turnover team. There's very little tolerance for it. And when things like that happen, you come to the bench.
Yeah, and you don't want to throw the ball to him. That's exactly what happened.
Right.
You're right, Mike. You get what you demand in coaching. What are you about? What do you demand? And Bo Ryan demands you move your feet, you show your hands so you don't foul, and he demands that you don't turn it over, and if you do, you're going to suffer consequences.
Doyle patient over Kaminsky. That might be the best move I've seen Ricky Doyle make all year.
Mike, Ricky Doyle had a different look on him when he got the dunk off the roll from Dawkins, a confident look. And again, big guys, take your time. Ricky Doyle did it. Second time for him.
Ricky Doyle has 8 points. Michigan within 1. This is the number 9 seed in this Big Ten tournament. Very difficult season with the injuries and the changing cast, players having to step up, not a deep bench. But the Wolverines have not shut it down this year, and they're giving Wisconsin all they can handle in this Big Ten quarterfinal. Dukin to the basket. There he goes, Dan Dawkins, on the deck and to the rim.
On the deck and finished strong. I still haven't seen him make a 2-dribble jump shot.
Albrecht can't answer with the 3. Nigel Hayes the rebound.
You still got to run him off. You got to run all these guys off. I'm going to get through the entire year without saying X factor, but he's the guy that can change a game for Wisconsin.
Good job by Albrecht. By Albrecht. Did you just say X factor?
No, not in my world. I have a different world. When you say you're not going to say a word, it doesn't count that you said the word. Good move by Doyle.
Word.
Up.
Word up. Dukin getting up. He's got 8 all in the half.
ESPN's exclusive presentation of college.
Maryland, Frank Kaminsky Player of the Year, Gosser on the all-defensive team, Decker and Hayes, 2nd and 3rd team. Ton of hardware, Dan. Regular season champs trying to do the double and win the tournament here in Chicago as well.
Victor Go the spoils. Tell you what, most surprising player of the year, if you want to add to it, is the kid with the ball right there, Bronson Caney, where he's come from being a 6-man type to as good a point guard as there is in the league.
Late shot clock. He's got to hoist a 3. It's off. Rebounded by Irvin. Michigan's down 3. 6.5 to go here in the first of our 4 quarterfinals.
Got to get something going with this lineup, Mike, for Zach Irvin. Get a pin down, something where Irvin gets some action.
Irvin's going to launch the 3 and tie the game at 54. Michigan's hit a half dozen triples.
Now on this end, for Michigan, got to be Cam Chapman on the glass. He's got to be a guy. He's long arm, he's athletic, he's aware.
Kaminsky right at Bielefeld, drew the double and pitched it to Dukin. Nigel Hayes, another baseline rebound. He gets so many of those. Caney can't give Wisconsin the lead back. Irvin takes it away.
Irvin's going to shoot this.
Got it. pitched into the corner. Chapman on the drive. Irvin's going to shoot this. And it sticks. So that's a jump ball. Possession arrow keeps it down here with Michigan.
Man, Irvin's the guy. I didn't think he had that in his hand. I thought it was a little loose. And you see the ball sticking.
It's weird. You rarely see that.
That's a new basketball. It was brought into basketball about 5 years ago. They changed the composite on them, made them much softer.
Duke in sits with 8 points, all here in the second half. Wisconsin back to its iron 5.
Massive possession right here.
Bielefeld going right at Kaminsky. Put it up on the glass. Dawkins couldn't finish, and here comes Decker.
Bad possession. John Beilein wanted a foul. Not sure he should have got it, but you could go with that move almost any time. Didn't need it there by Max.
Bielefeld hedged. That gave Kaminsky a chance to get space down there, and that's a killer.
Spike Albrecht was late. He needed to be all the way across the lane because once Kaminsky got the ball, you're not doing anything. You've got to be there and steal that pass. That's the easiest pass to steal in basketball.
Just back up 2, 4:40 to go. And he thought it was going to be a roll towards the basket. Albrecht turned it over. Limited turnover games, 6 by Wisconsin, 3 by Michigan. All the way in, nearly. The basket with a chance for the bang in the bucket, too, for Koenig. We have the ACC tournament semifinals. It'll be a great doubleheader in Greensboro. North Carolina against Virginia, followed by Notre Dame and Duke. For Wisconsin fans, it'll be great interest for you in watching these games in Greensboro. Dan Shulman, Jay Billis, Allison Williams. We'll have that. Kaminsky all alone. They let him go right at Doyle, and he put him in the spin cycle.
Well, Mike, remember, Kaminsky got benched earlier in this game. 2 misses inside, 2 turnovers. Guess what, people? Kaminsky didn't sulk. Kaminsky came right back with some determination, scored the last 2.
Doyle flashes to the basket and finishes with Kaminsky challenging on the recovery.
Boy, good move by John Beilein. He took Bielefeld out because of 2 bad plays. One on the offensive end with the drive and one with an overhead. Went back to a very confident Ricky Doyle.
Kaminsky, speaking of confidence, going right back at Doyle. He missed that one, but he got his own rebound.
That's what I was talking about Chapman, Mike. He had to have that rebound.
Decker 3. Got the ball. Sam Decker. Badgers up 5. Grateful Red, get up. Timeout, Michigan. Good folks who made the just under 3-hour drive, and of course the tons of Wisconsin alums that live here in Chicago. Happy to see their team get this edge late second half.
I've gone the whole year without saying spin cycle, but he did. He put him right there, like Mike said. Ricky Doyle playing with a lot of confidence. I mean, a lot of confidence over the big guy. You know what? Chapman didn't get this rebound. And basketball, the ball knows, people. You don't get a rebound, get an open 3, the result, it always goes in. Like, don't you love it? I mean, here's a kid that averaged 1.5 points as a freshman.
Just thinking that, yeah.
Jeez.
Limited play, limited time. His dad was a good basketball player. His dad actually coached the AAU team that Frank was on. And one of the reasons Kaminsky is so skilled, it had been reported that he played point guard in high school. That wasn't the case. He had to play a bit of point guard because of injury later on in his high school days. But for their AAU team, there's his dad. But one of the things they did was they would have a time where all 5 players played different positions for a day. So they had the skills. So even the small guys knew how to post. As Frank grew, he retained those perimeter skills. He's turned into the player of the year, perhaps, in the country. Irvin racked it, trying to get to Doyle. Too much traffic. Turnover. Decker's got it for Wisconsin. A couple of turnovers or bad possessions here from Michigan as it's getting to winning time. Gosser wanted it. Koenig said, I'm in control of this possession. You'll get it now. Abdur-Rahman challenges Kaminsky. Koenig almost had the rhythm three. He's going to take a little more time off the clock. Hayes has Albrecht. Got a small guy on him, but the clock's running down. Decker's got to do something.
That's short.
And Doyle can't secure the rebound.
Who made the play?
Gossett. Here comes Decker. Fouled by Doyle.
Well, Josh Gossett, he hits a big three. Ball's on the deck. Guys are reaching. He never gets beat to a loose ball, Mike. Never.
Captain America never gets beat.
That's true.
Facing Florida in the SEC quarters over on the SEC Network. Dakari Johnson with the finish. Cats up 3, and why not a Grinch? Back to Chicago.
Why not? That's exactly right. Thanks, Doug. You like Dakari Johnson, Dan?
I love Dakari Johnson. Dakari Johnson just goes. I thought he was big last year. He's going to be big in the tournament because when chaos ensues, you throw it to him on the block, good things are going to happen.
Are they beatable?
No.
You don't think they're beatable?
No, I don't. And I love this Wisconsin team, Mike. I do, but I don't think they're beatable. I just think the toughness they got last year. And that's why I think Wisconsin playing them is the best chance for them to get beat, because Wisconsin feels like they had them last year, didn't get it done, and everybody's back for Wisconsin.
Incredible numbers. 3 fouls for Wisconsin. Inside baseball, I'll be honest with you. I carry around the Division I NCAA record book on my iPad, and I opened it up. I haven't opened it up in a while, and I opened it up just to see if there's a record for fewest fouls in a game by a team. And it opened up right to the page with fouls. I bet you we were doing a Wisconsin game the last time I went looking for that fact.
Right.
They've committed 3 fouls in 38 minutes. They've been called for 3 fouls in 38 minutes. 2:12 to go. Must possession for the Wolverines. Albrecht, 4 fouls. So I can stop that record search. Foul on Koenig.
Only you would start it with, well, you know, I keep the NCAA record book on my iPad.
You're making fun of me?
No, I'm saying, I'm saying you're the most prepared human being alive.
Your tone implied such.
No, it's right next to the rule book, and then I've got the 1975 media guide from Memphis.
2 minutes left. Michigan's got to get something here. 3, you want to go inside?
I want a good look. I don't care. A good look. Do not force a shot here. Just get away from it. Something to the rim, preferably.
There goes Irvin. Hayes was there. Good finish. And he used Doyle there, faking as though he's going left. And now Michigan just extends with only Albrecht the pressure for a moment.
Third time this game, Irvin has gotten low, made an extra dribble, and finished. Obviously a must stop here. And the same thing, Mike. Same thing. If Michigan gets a stop, you go to the rim. Find your best match. It's Irvin. Go.
Said it often during the year, the thing we love about this Wisconsin team, they've got the best right foot in the league. They know how fast they want to go, and they're always comfortable doing it. Late clock, Kaminsky, Doyle, good defense, but Hayes on the glass with a big finish. Nigel Hayes.
They just compress you. You know what I mean? In this game, they just compressed you and then slipped inside of you from their other big, whether it's Doyle or Hayes or Decker.
Now they need 3s. Albrecht can't hit that one. Tipped out.
Guess who got
Gossett. What else is new?
Kid never, ever doesn't come up with a loose ball. Ever.
Abdur-Rahman the foul, and the Wisconsin fans to their feet. So, why does Wisconsin win so often? And how do they likely win here today? Everybody. That's the one thing about this team. It's not take away one guy, because everybody, you look at every guy on that floor, and then Showalter not as much today, but Dukin, everybody did something really important for this team to win today.
That's a great point. Dukin came in and 8 points, limited minutes, was fantastic. They don't foul because they move their feet and they show their hands. They don't turn the ball over because they hang on to it before they go make a play. And they're egoless. Maybe that's the most important thing. They are totally, completely egoless.
Trayvon Jackson, they hope they can get him to play just a little bit. Maybe some defense, maybe a few minutes at the point. It's been so long since he played. Hate to see his career end like this. Dawkins on the take to the basket. Couldn't finish. Gosser the rebound with 38 seconds left. Michigan wanted the goaltend there as the backboard was shaking. They don't get the call. Cree LED lighting, player of the game, we'll give it to Duye Dukin. I know the stats don't say that, but if you look at the value and timing of contribution, his might be the most important here today.
Mike, the kid had 8 points in 17 minutes, and Frank Kaminsky, because he was not playing well, 2 missed baskets around the rim, 2 turnovers in a row. Bo Ryan doesn't hesitate to go to Dukin, and hey, when called on, you deliver, and that's exactly what he did. That's a bad technical foul. That is just a ridiculous technical foul called on John Beilein. John Beilein was not being demonstrative. He had been arguing for calls down on his end going to the basket. But you know what? Who cares?
He was arguing the last one, along with Val Jordan, the assistant, for hitting the backboard as the ball was up on the cylinder and the backboard was shaking. He wanted that to be a goaltend on Wisconsin. Gosser missed that one.
That to me is, you know what? That's just ego by a good official, but that's just ego. I mean, if this is a technical foul, Fran McCaffrey would have been thrown out. He's not being demonstrative. He just wants a foul. You see him in the back there.
And Simpson teed him up. So this parade at the line continues here. 2 for 4 for Gosser. He's in disbelief. He's made 54 of his 63 thus far this year.
Yeah, because the ball knows that was a ridiculous technical.
Irving cannot finish. Doyle does. Michigan takes timeout. Down 9 with 27.7 to go. Second game is Purdue-Penn State. Dan, what do you think about the other games that we have coming up? We have Indiana and Maryland, those games tonight, or that game tonight, followed by Michigan State and Ohio State, as the Spartans will be the last team to join play here in Chicago.
I think this is going to be a really fun day here. I'm looking forward to Penn State and Purdue. Purdue, I think, is in the tournament. 12 Big Ten wins. They have 2 bigs. If you haven't seen Purdue, A.J. Hammond and Isaac Haas. Isaac Haas just hurts people without trying to hurt people. He's a big dude.
Guy, yeah.
And Purdue plays like Purdue used to play. They get into you. They're tough. They have good leadership. And Penn State is on a roll, Mike. And in the night, Indiana and Maryland is going to be as entertaining game as you're going to see. Terrific guards, Melo Trimble and Yogi Ferrell going at it. James Blackman, fantastic last night.
Dangerous here. They took it away. Reserving go right to the basket. Hayes drawing the blocking foul.
There is no way
that's right.
They were calling a charge. No chance. And that's because that man right there has been all over the officials. That is the definition of a charge.
Yes, it is.
But there is no chance. After that ridiculous technical, they were going to call a charge on that play under Michigan's basket.
Irvin at the line, the sophomore, averaged 13 a game. He missed the first one. He's 21 and 11 boards here today. That was Michigan's first free throw. 39 minutes and 37 seconds into the game. They missed them both. And Kaminsky gets fouled here with 22.3 to go. And it's back to the line again. Dan, interesting Michigan season, as we have discussed, because of the injuries. They will not make the NIT. They'll be a 500 team at 16 and 16s. Karis LeVert, who was injured, and Derek Walton missed 14 and 12 games down the stretch here, respectively. Some folks think LeVert will go pro and go in the NBA. It'll be an interesting decision that will come up here as we go through the spring. The foot injury has limited a player who really improved so much so fast during his days. No matter what LeVert does, with guys like Chapman and Irvin and Dawkins, Albrecht, they all come back. The only player who they lose is Max Bielfeldt. So this is a team that's in position to do well next year.
Hey, Max can come back. He's got a 5th year. It's just according to how that whole, they're going to sit down after the season. Coach Beilein and Max have both said publicly that they're going to do that. They're going to take a look at things and figure it out. Michigan's going to be very, very good next year.
One thing
Dawkins and
Rockman.
Thank you.
One thing they did not do is shut it down this year. They kept playing through a lot of adversity. Michigan's season is over, and on Wisconsin. The top seed, the Badgers, as expected, perhaps a little tougher than they thought, to the semifinals of the Big Ten tournament with an 11-point win over the Wolverines here. and the most awards in the Big Ten this year. They were the team of the year in the regular season. And they will see either Penn State or Purdue in the first of the two semifinals to play here in the United